Yeah, yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Rumpus in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the Con Man, and I am in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, it is Tuesday night, and it's a Tuesday after a heavy wrestling weekend and Monday. My God, that Monday Night Raw. Did y'all see that? Talk to me about it. Chat, talk to me about it, because that Monday Night Raw was crazy. And usually when I talk Monday Night Raw, that means it's the raw deal, because we got to give it to y'all raw. That's exactly how we give it to y'all. And when I do that, that means I got to discuss things with my amazing co-host, and she's going to make her return here the first time that you hear from her firm since Saturday's house party, and we're going to talk about that as well. That is the amazing, divinely designed Annie O'Neill back here on the Raw Deal. What's up, Annie?
What's up, Con? It's, we're putting that W in household, and we're here to give it to how everyone asked for it. Wait for it, and that's Raw. It's the Raw Deal with Howse and O'Neill. Man, yes. This episode felt like breaking PRs on a leg day. And the after leg day side effects just hasn't kicked in yet.
Ooh, man.
This episode had some high highs and some low lows. Cause wow, man, and after such a good PLE, after such a great, there wasn't, I don't know, it was just such a really good time space in the wrestling world, and a great weekend.
Yes.
Our first house party.
That was awesome.
It was just, I'm still coming off the high. Like I said, it was just such a wonderful weekend time space in the last 4 days. So, good to be here. It's good to be here on a Tuesday night.
A lot to take in for sure, but that's exactly why we are here to do what we do, and that's talk about it and discuss that right here on the Raw Deal. And this past Saturday was really just an amazing experience for the first ever in your house party, and it was there in Kokomo, Indiana, there at Outhouse Records. And it really already getting a chance to edit it and listen to it back again, see a little bit of the video. It was definitely a cool spot, most definitely a cool spot. And just seeing what we did, what we created, what we put together as a unit. And it really gave me, looking back at it and listening to it, I don't know if you're a huge watcher or anything of the Pat McAfee show, which is a talk show, but also it's a live podcast that he does. And that's what I felt like we put together as an own version of that,
Right. And it was, because you never know what you're going to get when you meet new people. And is the vibe going to be great? Is everyone going to be cohesive? And there was you never know what's going to happen until it happens. And just everything popped off just so synchronistically. everyone came from a different perspective, and like there was differing opinions, but like it's we're all just passionate people who have
Yep.
just such a different perspective, and we all just love what we love, but we love it differently. But it's just cool to like have so many collect like collective voices, but all coming together for the same common purpose. Like wrestling is going to bring world peace, I know it, but it was really cool. uh Everyone, it was just so much fun. And
Yeah.
like the people who showed up were like they were so engaged.
Yeah.
Like how about for you? Did expectations meet reality?
Honestly, I'd say yeah. I would absolutely say
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
because what at the end of the day, like it was great. Like we had, it was a nice little turnout that we had. Some people
Mhm.
came out, but mainly I was there to create a production. Like it's
Mhm.
it was one of those things where I've done something like this before in the past, but
Yeah.
not on this level, not with this
Oh
level of
yeah.
like production and how well put together
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
was. And like the set was like we were on an actual set. It was great.
It
And
was.
like
It,
it felt professional. That's what I wanted. Like anything that I
right.
do, I want it to
Mhm.
be done well. And I felt like that
Yeah.
collectively we came together and did it well and offered a
Mhm.
clean production, a rather clean production with
Mhm.
intelligent conversation back and forth about wrestling and
Mhm.
differing opinions.
Yeah.
And my whole
Mhm.
from day one when I did this podcast, I've
Mhm.
said it. I promise you, Annie, I've said it since day one. I want it to
I
be
believe you.
entertaining and informative.
Mhm.
And we were that.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. So, like, what is this experience that you envisioned, like as just a thought one day? And what did you prove possible to yourself for the next time?
I think that it's just gonna be bigger and better. Like we
Yeah.
we we
Yeah.
created something. We created something very cool, and it was our first time doing it. And the first time
Mhm.
doing anything isn't easy because, like you said earlier, you don't really know what you're getting into until you get there. We've never done
Mhm.
something like this. I've never done something like this. Like I've done like some like facets of it, but like
Mhm.
not an actual like live podcast where we're selling tickets to it and people are
Yeah.
coming in and we actually have like a little audience coming and invested in what we were talking about and what we were saying. There was a few people just sitting there just enjoying, engaged, and at the end of the day, like
Mhm.
that's what I wanted. I wanted people like it'd be awesome if we had 200 people come in there, but if they're not paying attention to what we're doing, what's the point?
Mhm.
The people that we
Sure.
had in there were invested in what we're doing, and I promise you that they're going to remember us. And that means next time we do it,
Absolutely.
we can bring them out. I know we can because we've done it once, and once now that people
Mhm.
see it, and it's gonna be a FOMO because I promise you,
That's all it takes. That's all it
once people
takes.
see the video, they're gonna be like,
Mhm.
I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of
Mhm.
something. It's a clean production that
Mhm.
people are gonna want to be a part of, and for that reason, it's gonna
Yeah.
create that fear
Right.
of missing out, and people are gonna show up to the next one.
Mhm. See, did you just hear how passionate this person is about everything that like he's just such a I mean, you're just the backbone of so many things that we do here, and it's just like that's one of my favorite uh things about you. You're a visionary.
I
And
appreciate that.
despite all of the opposition you face, like it happened. You made it happen. And obviously in conjunction with all of the others who've helped make this possible. But like,
Amazing team and
see,
amazing
it all
people.
starts it starts with a concept. Just saying.
Yes, yes, true. Very,
So,
very
oh
true.
yeah.
And listen, we did this.
Yeah.
We can most definitely do it again.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said,
Politics
I'm
is
looking
fun.
forward to
That's it.
the next time we do something like this. I'm looking forward to it, and man, it is
Mhm.
crazy to think what we put together. But after the show was over, Annie, we all chilled
Mhm.
out and kicked it. We gave away
Mhm.
some prizes. And we sat
Mhm.
down. We watched Survivor Series War Games, and what
Whoa, games.
there it is. There it is. And what an experience it was. Like, we're not going to dig too deep into Survivor Series
Mhm.
because I think that people are really going to want to hear us talk about Monday Night Raw, and I get it. I totally get it because it was one of the best Monday Night Raws of the year.
Right.
Um, but a couple of things about this Survivor Series that I just a couple of notes that came out of it that I wanted to make
Mhm.
sure I threw in there when we got together. It's a couple of things. I'll just put it in bullet points, and then I'll let you give your thoughts. One thought that came from me at Survivor Series War Games is, damn, I'm sad that we're going to lose Bronson Reed for a while because it seems like he is injured and it might be an indefinite injury. So, yeah, not happy about that.
I just learned about that today. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize he was injured. So, uh, yeah, I was just getting comfortable with the fact that he's going to be enjoying a nice big push in the next 6 months. But well, things change, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, another thing that I thought about coming out of this is
Hmm.
Nia Jax was awful.
Uh, you
Yeah.
know, I I
I hate this.
I
I
can't
love Nia and I've
disregard
talked good about her, but she was
what
awful.
my eyes see. And, I really want to support the women who wrestle in this business. But what was what did my I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. And it's sad.
And you know what? It was a point that you made. You made a really good point that night when you said,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have started Nia first because Nia was first. She started at the very beginning. And as soon as you saw that she was starting against Bailey, I saw your eyes roll. I saw, you was like,
Felt
you
like
was
curdled
already,
milk in my stomach, dude. That's
yeah.
what it felt like. Like why?
And
Like
and it was tough. It was tough because it's like, oof, like not only did you already see that coming, but then what happened in the ring when there was just the chemistry was just there was none at all, Annie, and it was noticeable.
and I that was something I pinpointed each time I saw Nia Jax and Bailey in a ring. Like, I think it's important at least to, work with everyone, challenge yourself in the ring.
Yeah,
Give yourself the opportunity to do things you haven't done. But when I know I'm not the only person who saw it, I'm not the only person who felt that way. But
yeah,
I was really I think that really changed the match that we could have had if two different people started. So because it took a while for that match to come back from that nosedive,
yeah.
and man, not the match that they really did this war games match kind of feel thrown together to you?
I don't know if it was like thrown together, and I agree with you, OG Tony.
Mhm.
Like, I know the chair shots
Yeah.
wasn't all her fault. I totally get
Oh
that,
no,
and
no,
I
no, no,
and
no.
and
There were
yeah, and
other
I
names to
definitely and I
throw in there too.
exactly, and I like Nia. Don't get me wrong; it was just a bad
Mhm.
match for her, but like what happened is like this match, I mean, once again, I'm not sure if it was thrown together because it
Mhm.
developed over time. It was a really slow start. But
Right.
then when it
Right.
finally got to
Right.
the point, like when we got to a point where Tiffany, like when Tiffany, because we said it, we were like, oh, Tiffany didn't come out with their money in the bank, in money in the bank briefcase. And I think Kevin called this
Right.
is that
He did.
she would
It was
find it, and she'd
right.
come into a dilemma against who she was going to cash in against, and it was going to create turmoil in the match, which is exactly what
Mhm.
happened. Then we had Tiffany coming
Mhm.
off the top of the cage with the swanton, and we had Eos and her psycho ass coming off the with a moonsault with the trash can, and it developed into something good, but that
It
start was just
matched her
super slow.
gear.
Yeah,
It was. Like if that the structure of the match was just rearranged even just a bit differently,
yeah,
I would have had a different feeling of this match entirely. Like
sure.
it ended up you know for how it started and what the women had to do to overcome that obvious horrible beginning, then it would have been different. I don't know. It was just ugh. But yeah,
Yeah,
Io Sky, Miss War Games, Queen of the War Games, like she showed up and showed out,
she
and so
did.
did Candice LeRae.
Yeah,
Honestly, like she was an unexpected savior of um this match. She really did what she could
she turned it
to reel
around.
it
She
back
helped
in.
turn it
She
around.
really did, and it was like honestly at the most critical moment,
Yep. You.
right before when
Mm,
the crowd was about to like use that time to go to the bathroom and go to the concession stand.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I think about that match and everything that came from it. And another thing that makes me think that it's like I came from this match that came to my mind is that we're definitely not done with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
Mhm.
There's more meat on that bone there now. Now that she's pinned Liv Morgan, that's another thing that came to my mind. Uh, and we're gonna dive a little bit more into that when we talk Monday Night Raw.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there's also that Shinsuke Nakamura, new United States champion.
So good.
Uh,
So good.
a lot of you guys said it. I went against it just because I thought that
Yeah.
there was some of that noise where people was like, "Oh, we're happy that Shinsuke won," but it felt kind of flat because it happened so fast. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with it because like LA Knight, I think he needs to shift gears towards something else. He's had his title
Mhm.
run. It wasn't a disrespectful title run. He had some pretty good title defenses in there, and it is what it is. It should have ended. It's just weird because I felt like it should
Mhm.
have been against Carmelo Hayes, to be honest with you, just because
Mhm.
they were building towards that for a hot little minute there.
Yeah. I think he was an honorable U.S. Championship or champion, but
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think he needs to move on to different things, and at least he can say he was a champion.
Yep.
But I think
Yeah.
putting it on Shinsuke for this return was the absolute right call.
Yeah.
And
Looking at it now, I think it is.
I really appreciated this match because it wasn't anything more than it needed to be.
Yeah. I could agree with
And
that.
wow, just Shinsuke like coming out looking like an absolute killer. Like he looks crazed, he looks worn. He like ooh, this
The Wandering Samurai.
putting the belt on him at this yes and putting the belt on him at this point in time I think was absolutely the right call.
Yeah, looking back at it, I agree. And listen, B York, I feel you, bro. Like I wanted him to win. I just wasn't sure if it was going to
Hmm.
happen that soon. That
Right.
was literally it. But I'm happy about it. I'm with you. I'm with you. Couple notes there. Backstabber Balor returns and cost Damian Priest the title again. We'll dig a little bit more into that once we get Monday Night Raw because a lot of implications came from Monday Night Raw. And we have Braun Breaker. He retains his IC title. Looks like Sheamus came out of that with a cracked rib, and
Yes.
and we don't know when he's going to be back. So just another one of those casualties from Survivor Series, and we'll continue the conversation about Sheamus a little bit later. But the story coming out of that is now going to be Ludwig Kaiser and Braun Breaker, and it seems like they're moving towards something for the Intercontinental title. And I don't hate it because Ludwig is trying to come into his own. As we saw a little bit on Monday Night Raw, and then of course the men's War Games match and everything that came from that. What is the favor? We saw everything that happened. There was a story that was told in this, Annie, and that was CM Punk and Roman Reigns trying to establish trust with each other.
It's an interesting point in time where, they try to establish trust and what the motive of that really is. Because, for as honest and as much as CM Punk, kind of, announces what he does, you still never know what to expect from him. And
True.
who only knows what's going on. I agree with that. But the same with Roman Reigns. Like, who know where his mind went after he lost to Cody and he had some time off. What's his motive, trying to reclaim the family throne, So, and what does Paul Heyman really what's really going on in that
What's
mind?
the favor? What is the favor?
Yes. And I really like that about the story. It's so simple. It's like you see the human need driving each person.
Yeah.
But why? And what is the outcome going to be?
That's the question, and that's what's keeping this as compelling as it is.
I
want to show some love to the chat because the chat is going off right now. Like it is going crazy right now.
Talk to us.
We got the voice Josh Joseph up in there. We got B York up in here. He's saying Rock versus Roman versus Punk Mania main event. That'd be crazy. We got Bruzy up in here. Bruzy is here. He says, I keep looking in y'all's eyes, but all I see is the cult of personality.
Nice.
And yes, B York, that could be it. He wants the main event at WrestleMania. That could be what Punk wants because that's something that's eluded him in his career. He was robbed of it last year due to injury. And now this is going to be his first real road to WrestleMania since returning to the company.
And that's actually something I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
So Punk has been back a year now?
Yeah. Yep.
What do you think of his tenure so far in the last 365 days?
That is a great question. I mean, seriously.
Because that's why I wanted to ask you.
Yes, because it's polarized. No, I'm serious. Like it's a polarizing question because like he spent such a portion of it injured, and then the other part of it was him having one of the best feuds of the year with Drew McIntyre. And then really nothing after that until Survivor Series.
Like,
it's an interesting question.
What about CM Punk just keeps us on this hook? And like, I mean, there have been people who have, been working around the clock like way more frequently than he has. And I mean, I'm just, I'm not trying to hold any value against him or anyone else. It's just something I'm pointing out. So, but I don't.
He knows how to control his buzz.
Yeah. Sure. He knows how to keep his aura like alluring.
Yep.
Like it's I don't know, the inverse of Roman Reigns, because they're two completely different energies, but
they're
manifesting
together,
different.
and it's like,
Yes.
okay, so that brings me to this point that I saw, and I'm just kind of I don't know the exact numbers. I'd have to look it up. I could probably look it up real quick right now while I'm talking, because I can vamp. But there was a YouTube video of Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and it was from Survivor Series War Games, and this video did massive numbers. I think it
They're
did like
sassy. They're so sassy.
Yeah. And it's because these two together are so just huge figures, and they don't like each other. It's two massive figures together, and it's huge. And they did massive numbers on their YouTube. I think it was over 1 million views of when Roman Reigns held the cage and didn't let CM Punk out, but he told Sammy to go.
Yeah.
And it did massive numbers. That just proves that these two are compelling. These two they know how to, once again, control their aura. And now the thing that's looping them together is, what's that? Oh, another polarizing figure by the name of Paul Heyman. It just makes for great TV.
You know who else is a Paul Heyman guy?
Who's that?
And who's probably just Brock Lesnar.
Ooh. I do think he's eventually coming back. I do think we will see him back again.
I feel like he's just going to be just dropped back into the WWE claw machine.
Yeah.
Like at any given time. I don't know. Maybe before WrestleMania.
Maybe, maybe Royal Rumble.
We have a really good way of making things manifest on the show. So I'm just saying, you heard it here first on the Raw Deal with Howse and Annie.
Right here. And you can check out everything that we do. Of course, we're here on YouTube. We are here on Twitch. We are here on Facebook. And then once we drop the podcast version, guys, that comes on Spotify and on Apple and anywhere you get your major podcast at any major podcast platform that is. And man, this is going to be a massive episode, because me and Annie are about to talk Monday Night Raw. And I've been saying it all day, one of the top 10 Monday Night Raws of 2024. It was just an amazing episode with a lot of different happenings. We're about to get to that, Annie. But before we do that, Annie, we're going to have to take a break.
Nature of the beast, guys. So we got to pay some bills.
Most definitely. We're going to pay some bills. And guys, when we do come back, we are going to talk last night's Monday Night Raw.
Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it. We will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Welcome back, guys, to In Your House. And of course, we've been talking all things Monday Night Raw, or else we're gonna be talking all things Monday Night Raw. We were talking all things Survivor Series. We were talking about the house party over there in Kokomo, Indiana, that we had. Amazing time. And yeah, it's been a great episode so far, but now we got to get to the part, as far as this particular episode, that I've been super excited to talk about, and that's last night's Monday Night Raw, because Annie, it was absolute cinema.
One thing I was saying before we started going, like, the nuances are becoming even more nuanced. Yeah. It's said that art mimics reality, and this was so prevalent in this episode. I was on my seat almost the entire time. Like,
my God, yes.
I cried during the New Day segment.
I'm telling you, it was dusty up in there. I was dusty in my living room. All right.
I don't believe you. Like, I was disgusted. Like, I had some snot going, and I was crying. like, oh man, Anna was a hot mess during that. I'm like, so it's okay. Like, crying is a healthy human reaction. So if you cried, I accept it, and I'm here to offer my emotional support as a friend and a co-host. So that's just what we do. Household. I got you.
I cried.
Okay. Thank you.
It was emotional, man. Listen, we'll go back to, let's rewind just a little bit, because I'm gonna go absolutely bonkers about that. Because we got to talk about the opening, because the opening was good too. The opening was good too. CM Punk, you had Seth Rollins in the mix. I did not expect Seth Rollins to interrupt him, man. And then everything that was going back and forth, and then you got Sammy and Jay coming out. And my God, tensions were just all over the place.
Like, that segment that kicked off the show, absolute field goal. Like, it was good.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Like, even this segment had me on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Yep.
Like, so, and I didn't expect. I don't know. Okay, go ahead. I'm just gonna, make exclamatory remarks and just talk about my feelings. So, like, what should we talk? Let's break down the segment. Go ahead. Let's start.
I thought the segment was really, really good. It was fire. A whole lot of good came out of it. And actually, let's go ahead and get a little refresher here. Bring this up. And here we go.
There is nothing in my way, nothing in your way, no one holding us back. The only things between us are air and hatred. And I've got a feeling in my gut that tonight is the night I knock CM Punk on his ass. You've been thinking about me for 6 months? I don't think about you at all.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah.
Snatch the breath out my lungs, Con. Like, it's one thing to have, burning desire to get your retribution, but for that person you're seeking retribution against, completely deny your existence?
Yep. Disregard everything.
Seth Rollins, yes. Like, oh, I stepped in a piece of gum. Let me remove this from my shoe and throw it into the waste bin. Like, oh my God.
He's nothing to him.
Like, the way that CM Punk continues to level a man just astounds me even more. Like, man, like, he really didn't come out of the cell the same person. He really didn't. But
no, he didn't.
A CM Punk that gives no Fs, like, is probably my favorite version of CM Punk. So,
yeah,
some tea was had.
Man, it was so crazy. Okay. And even like Seth Rollins looked, honestly, a little bit like Seth Rollins kind of looked like he was like, he felt smaller from that. And the reason that I say that is because he's like, I didn't think about you at all. Like, you're not, and so that probably I'm sure that pissed Rollins off even more, and this segment was just heavy. And then once again, like I said, you had Sammy and Jay that they got involved as well in that. And that was a situation too. Just like we've seen it here.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, Jey Uso trying to restore some order. But these are two massive egos they're trying to separate here.
Am I your business now? Come on, yeah.
Trying to get back in the ring.
Oh, damn.
Come on.
But being pulled apart yet again.
Yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah. Go on, you too, Jay. Run along to Roman, y'all.
Ooh.
Hey. Wait a minute. Better than that. Hey.
Here they go.
Wild. Seth Rollins was unhinged last night.
Yeah, like, whatever Bronson Reed did to him, he was a changed man.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Seth has always been unhinged, but he's coexisting in a different, like, galaxy. So, man.
Yo, yeah. That's a good point. And like, it makes his character more compelling because he stayed consistent with the CM Punk hate since Punk returned to the company. And that's like, there's no reason why he would deviate from that. Like, he's already won the World Heavyweight Championships. He's already been a Universal Champion. He's already been a top guy, this and that. Now he wants all this evil, whether it be Roman Reigns or whether it be CM Punk, of like evacuated and out of the company, and like the question is, for like, what does that serve him to fight those battles instead of continue his greatness, and that's try to chase to become a world heavyweight champion again, or maybe become an intercontinental champion, or anything like you can really plug and play Seth Rollins anywhere on the card and it makes sense, really, because he's just that guy. But like, well, I'm just questioning because I already know Punk, he's pivoting towards the World Heavyweight Championship. He wants to be in the main event of WrestleMania. And so of course it makes sense that Punk is just like, I'm not really messing with you because I have other plans. I have other things that I want to do while I'm here.
And that brings me to my point that I want to make. Anytime CM Punk tries to move on, there's just something crawling back from his past that's like, nope, we're not done with you yet.
Yep.
So this happened the last time he even breathed the world title or championship.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre came back like that little cockroach that survived nuclear fallout, and it's like, nope, not done with you. Yeah. And then here comes Seth Rollins, who operates on a very similar level to Drew McIntyre. They're two different brands of Unhinged, which I love. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another pattern that I'm seeing, and Sammy had some singers.
He did
in the segment
he did.
too.
He reminded him
really
that,
consistent. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he reminded him that it was Seth who put the chair in Roman's back and basically created the tribal chief.
Yes. So and it's funny because he didn't even want anything to do with Roman Reigns in that match at Survivor Series, and guess what? It's still haunting him. Still can't get away from Roman Reigns, even though it's adjacent. And like you said, karma has a weird way of showing back up. You make a decision. How long will this decision be affecting you?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those consequences bleed through and through and through. So, and maybe he and CM Punk aren't that different.
Maybe. I gotta show Brucey. I saw this. So what do you think about this, Annie? I saw this on the internet earlier, and I was like, man, that is a deep cut right there. And that's that it was all Batista's fault. He's the one who left Evolution and made Seth Rollins be option B for Triple H. And because Seth Rollins was option B, that's the reason why he put the chair in Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose's back that day. And that basically created the monster that was Roman Reigns. So if you really take it all the way back, it's Batista's fault.
I mean, there's a point of origin of basically everything.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, you could take it deeper. Most definitely take it deeper than that. But it's just crazy because they are cooking. Especially off of the cusp of Survivor Series War Games. They're already adding really great matches to Saturday Night Main Event on December 14th, whether it be the finals of the WWE Women's United States Championship Tournament, where our first ever United States Champion will be crowned. Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. And then now it's been announced that you're going to have Finn Balor up against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. They're making the Saturday Night Main Event feel really, really big. We saw Dominic Mysterio have a match against Gunther, and it actually wasn't a bad match, but I had to bring this up for a reason, because they're doing something with Finn and Dominic Mysterio right now. And I don't know if you watched. Actually, I know you did because you watched the show. Did you hear those Dominic Mysterio chants from the crowd? They were actually chanting Dirty Dom. I don't know if are we moving towards a babyface Dominic Mysterio?
I mean, I feel like that's a type of decision that's really beneficial to someone with Dominic Mysterio's energy.
Yeah.
There's like, no matter how much you hate him, there's something you want to like about him. The more you sometimes you dislike someone, you realize you misunderstand them. So and I a part of me at Survivor Series, I was just really I felt like it was the beginning of a separation between Dom and Liv.
Yeah.
I feel like their storyline is might end. I don't know.
It might need to.
I feel like it starts. Yeah. At least that's the impression that I got. And sometimes it's better just to end things quietly before they start to sour.
Yeah,
and I feel like
yeah.
WWE has been really, really, really good about that. But I feel like Judgment Day can still operate as a unit. But yeah, anyway, what do you think?
No, I was just working it through my mind right there because like if you want to go with the Dominic Mysterio going babyface and you want to keep Liv Morgan as that chicken shit champion, top heel, which she is and she plays it well. Maybe you have an angle where Dirty Dom, and this could be maybe at Royal Rumble. Maybe she finally get her being, or maybe they could do it at Saturday Night Main Event. So what they can do is they can have Liv Morgan. They can have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at Saturday Night Main Event. And the match is gonna, the match is what it is. It's probably likely a pretty good match. But then at the end, you have Dominic Mysterio take the bullet for Liv Morgan, whether it be, like a riptide or something like that. Then you have Liv Morgan take advantage and beat Rhea Ripley at Saturday Night Main Event. And then it's presumably over for Liv Morgan. She's like, I'm washing my hands of Rhea Ripley. I've already beat her so many times that I'm done. And as a matter of fact, now that I'm done with her and I have my heavy over here, I have Raquel Rodriguez. Honestly, Dom, I don't need you either. So then she dumps Dominic Mysterio. That makes her an even bigger heel, and that makes Dominic Mysterio a sympathetic babyface.
Yes, I like that. And then I think it would be interesting if she started having an angle with Finn Balor.
Hey, you could do that. Like Finn's been saying, if you listen to Finn, then you're gonna win.
Even if then Dom will be that sacrificial lamb. Then everyone will sympathize with him, like you said. And then everyone would hate Liv Morgan even more. And I feel like then Finn would benefit because he would have, I don't know, he doesn't have a solid identity to me, even though he is the backstabber Balor. Like, I don't know, something, I'm a little sour about Finn Balor right now, and I don't want to be. I appreciate Finn Balor for everything that he is. There is.
But there's still a disconnect. I feel it too. Yep.
And man, like another match with, I don't know about. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted about Finn Balor.
With the whole, I think they're doing Finn Balor versus Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event, and I said this last night. I said this last night when they set the match. I already knew. I could see it coming a mile away. Damian Priest it's gonna be an eye for an eye, and Damian Priest is gonna cost Finn Balor the championship match. That's gonna piss Finn Balor off, and then we could possibly see them. We could possibly see them on see them go up against each other on the premiere of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and then we probably see them face to face at some point in the Royal Rumble match in February. So they should be, and they need to be tied to each other for a little bit longer because there's still meat on that bone with the Finn and Damian Priest feud.
I don't know. There was a part of me that was a little displeased when Damian Priest was just dragged back in, but it made sense. Another championship opportunity, thwarted by the hands of Finn Balor. So I know it's necessary, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
I get it. I totally get where you're coming from.
Anyway. I'm gonna watch it anyway.
I think they're trying, because remember when they put Damian Priest back in the title picture, it was just this awkward, like, okay, well, I beat you in one match, Finn, so now I'm done with you and I'm off it. And it was just awkward because it was like, why would Finn, whose his character is that he obsesses. His character is that he's jealous and petty, and he's good. That's who Finn Balor has kind of been established to be, is a character. So why would Finn just be like, oh, he beat me, I'm done with him? Finn Balor wouldn't do that because he's pissed that you beat him. So now he's going to keep going, just like we saw on Monday Night Raw. He felt embarrassed. He felt pissed off that Gunther didn't give him a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. So what did he do? He went out and created that opportunity after the match against Dominic Mysterio that Gunther won. You had Finn Balor come out, attack him, 3 coup de grace, straight up disrespects, told Dominic Mysterio, here's how it's done, kid. And he just obliterated Gunther, and it was a crazy situation. That right there, I think, was probably one of the better versions of Finn Balor, at least last night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Just there's something that's a little stale for me about Finn Balor, and hopefully after what happened after the match, it'll lay another layer that will help me reinvest in Finn Balor. But I don't know.
Honestly,
I'm just not digging it. I'm not vibing with it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you noticed this, but Adam Pearce teased that Balor might have to pull double duty at Saturday Night Main Event because he already has a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. But then he was like, and Adam Pearce said
about
next
the tag
week
belt.
we'll talk about your other match. So that could be a compelling thing that Finn Balor is going to have to work double duty in one night. That might compel some people on him just to be like, hey, this guy is an overall good worker that can work 2 matches in one night.
Yeah, what are you willing to do for what you want? Are you willing to, like you said, work double duty? And maybe this is an opportunity for Finn Balor to really hammer that in. So I mean, if anyone could do it, he's a workhorse. He does.
If anything else, if he's nothing else, he's a workhorse.
There is. If there's anything he can't do, it is wrestle. So.
Yeah, he's got that in the bag for sure.
I'm not sad about seeing Finn Balor. Exactly. So.
But man, we'll see what happens with that. Once again, he's got the tag titles. He's got a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. But yeah, let's hop real quick into the New Day because we have to. That segment was absolutely heavy. I mean, and I'll say this. It went in a completely different way than I thought it was going to go. Never in a million years did I think that it was going to happen like that. I mean, I knew Big E would be there. And even though I knew Big E would be there, I still popped for him. But the pivot.
Absolutely.
And then when he offered to be their manager to try to give them guidance, I was like, oh, that's the thing that they're going to do. Okay, I get it. They're going to try to tie it back together and have Big E be the manager of the group. So that way his presence would still be there, even if he can't wrestle. And then, man, X and Kofi went in a completely different direction and just started to dress down Big E and was like, why haven't you been back? Why did you leave us? And I was like, oh my God. Like, it was just, my jaw was on the absolute floor. My brain couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. And then you had Kofi and X unify once again over the hatred of Big E. It was absolutely insane, Annie.
It's like, how long were those coals burning? How long have you been pissed off about these things?
Yep.
Because these had to take time to formulate. Like, these feelings fermented over the period of time. So, on what was supposed to be a joyous occasion, they just had to unleash all of that crap they've been carrying with them. That was the point in time.
Yeah.
Like, they were surrounded by, things they wore to WrestleMania, and they threw pancakes.
All their accolades.
They love pancakes. Yes, and that point in time, you couldn't have said anything. No one was mature enough to be like, "Hey, we gotta talk, man."
Yeah.
How close were you really?
Yeah.
So that begins for me to question their motives. So when Big E's been nothing but real and supportive and involved in his friends' lives, were they just manipulating him the entire time? Because that introspection never kicked in.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then, you know what really got me, though, was when Kofi Kingston was like, Stone Cold Steve Austin broke his neck and he came back. I was like, dang, you really going, he's really going in. Kofi Kingston was really going in. And I was like, yo, because Kofi is overall a positive, joyous, happy guy, but he started dressing him down, and I was like, oh my god, once again, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My jaw was on the floor, but it was absolutely the most compelling thing from Monday Night Raw. And I never thought, as we saw this New Day thing slowly burn, and it burned slow, but what they got to is something crazy, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
One thing that really struck me, when Wood said he tore his Achilles off the bone and he had to have surgery, did he really compare that to potential paralysis? He sounded completely absurd. That was the thing that pissed me off the most.
Yeah. I remember you saying that,
Granted, you might walk with, you might lean when you walk, but at least you could. He would have been reduced to a wheelchair, or a mobility chair for the rest of his life. What?
And man, I felt awful for Big E. Oh my god, I felt awful for him.
And it's crazy because when Woods was busy being brainwashed by the Final Testament, did Kofi did he inhale some secondhand smoke or something?
Something.
Were the carcinogens just eroding his brain cells too? Because what happened? What happened, Con?
Yeah.
What happened?
Kofi was the most shocking one because I kind of expected something. I expected something from X, but when Kofi started piping up, I was like, "You too, Kofi?"
And one thing I wanted to bring up, what was their announcement before Big E came out?
I'm glad you brought that up because I think that they were going to announce that they were going to go separate ways. I think they were going to amicably end the New Day at the 10-year anniversary, and that's what they were teasing.
Because that took a hard pivot.
Yeah. Oh my God, it did.
What was the decision making in linking up together and double crossing Big E at that? Why? How did the motive switch so fast?
What? It makes me feel like that they were going off emotion. It felt because it seems like that they had talked about the decision before Big E came out that they were going to end amicably on the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, and it seemed like that they put thought into it, they discussed it, and this is what they thought was best because of all the fighting. And then Big E came out, and remember, in character, the story is They didn't know Big E was going to be there. They did not know. So when they saw Big E come up, and Big E is basically saying, and once again, like you said, it got real emotional because these are guys that came together. And I remember when the New Day started, these were three guys that could not find their way on the card. And they were just like, hey, this is our last shot, Hail Mary, if we can get on TV and try to not get fired. The only one who was established at that point was Kofi Kingston. The other two still had a ways to go. And 10 years later, we know what happened. But, man, it got real emotional because of how close that those three brothers got. And it was just, once again, just absolutely crazy because it was like, oh, now, and X even said it, he's like, oh, now that we've argued all the way to the cliff and now that it's time to jump off, now you think it's time for you to show your presence? And I think everything that they were doing was just based off of emotion, and they emotionally decided in that moment that, no, we're going to, instead of splitting up, we're going to come together in spite of E. And it was like, oh man, spite is a hard thing to be driven by.
And it's so interesting because for me, Big E is he's reminiscent of hope. Like you said earlier, they came together at a critical point in time, and if they didn't, that was it. So yep. I really feel like Big E is that adhesive that keeps the family together.
Yeah.
And the really negative things in life really define you as a person, and that can also bring out the best and worst in someone at the same time. So it's funny, like how the pattern, was cyclical, like 10 years later, and how that presence of hope brought out the absolute worst in, Woods and Kofi. And then, but at the same time, that presence, they found solidarity in a weird way. So I don't know. I don't know.
It's a lot to take in.
I'm still reeling from it, Con. I'm still reeling from it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, like I said, I kind of want to jump in and feel that again for a hot little second because it was intense. So here we are.
I am medically cleared to return to this ring. I am going to remind the two of you exactly who you are. I'm going to be here to cheer for you, to root for you, to uplift you. I'm going to be here every single week. To serve as your managers. Now, you want to come back? After you watched us fight for months, after you watched us argue to the edge of the cliff and the last thing left to do was jump, now you want to come back? E, you left us. I broke my neck. What do you mean? I've been doing my best. You left us, E. Yeah, you broke your neck. So what? Until
he said, yeah, you broke your neck. So what? That's what threw me. I was thrown by that. I was like, yo.
People have no idea how ridiculous they sound in their emotion. And I'm not invalidating the things that people feel because emotions can drive us to do weird things, whatever. But like that line of thinking, like a broken neck isn't something like getting a paper cut, okay? It's not like chipping a nail. It's not like oopsie, oops daisy. It's like crazy because, man, like whatever they're drinking on, it's the same thing that Drew McIntyre has been drinking on.
Oh, right? I could see that. Crazy.
Man, and like how do you fault someone for trying to move on after they think that they're never going to wrestle again? Never once did they consider like the person who never thought that who'd never wrestle again, what they would ever go through. Like, are you serious? You know, like,
Yeah.
So what? He's sitting behind a desk. He's still involved in the thing that he still loves to do. He can't do it in the same capacity.
Yep. And what could he have done
But,
about it?
I mean, like, look at Corey Graves, look at Wade Barrett. Like, they're still doing awesome things in the wrestling business, still contributing, just in a different way. Everyone pays dues differently. Okay? Like, whatever, man.
Yeah, and even Grunmeister here is saying that comment was out of pocket because it took Edge 7 years to come back. But other than that, I kind of feel for Kofi and X. I was like, oh, but man, it's crazy. Because what do you mean feel for Kofi? That was crazy. All right, they said this man broke his neck. So what? Grun, you have no soul.
And really, was it so unexpected that Big E was gonna come out at the 11th hour and try and keep everyone united? Was that like they were shocked when he came out? I'm like, what? Are you serious? Like,
yeah, but it's like, of course he's gonna try to keep it together.
Big E is integral to New Day. Of course. So whatever. I have a lot of emotion. Like, is completely diluted.
That situation, it got heavy. It was a great segment, and it's just a testament to the fact that the New Day, even when you think, maybe there's not anything left as far as the New Day, they just flipped it around, and now they're finding a new way to stay relevant, and that's for them to be like what is widely considered right now the best segment on one of the best Monday Night Raws speaks. That says something, and I was just impressed. I really was. You had Dakota Kai; she moved on in the U.S. women's title the Intercontinental Women's Tournament that started. It started, and Dakota Kai got the victory, and I'm happy because I like Dakota Kai in that situation. I'm loving the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title for the women. I talked about this on at the house party. I love it. I just love it because the tag titles mean something. Now we have mid-card titles. We have our women's champion. We have great stories being told by the women. Like, it's just great, and I'm really enjoying this. And they called it, it's the women's revolution, and then they had evolution. This is the next evolution of the women because they were having great matches and having great championship matches, but now they're telling better stories, and I just love everything that's going on with the women's division.
And it's awesome to witness at this point in time, because women are being given the opportunity that they deserve. They have deserved all along, and they're, just bringing such credibility and making it more than a belt. And like, it's just so awesome. I think Dakota Kai had a really amazing match after coming back from such a significant injury, and I really like the continuity in the being told through the matches, because she had an outstanding match against Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler, like, man, she's a force to be reckoned with in the
I thought Shayna might have won, honestly.
I really like Shayna Baszler, and I like how I really didn't know who was going to win this match. It wasn't really clear to me. I'm really happy for Dakota Kai, and Shayna Baszler. She made everyone else look amazing in the ring.
Yeah, Yeah, she did. I just wanted to make sure I threw that in there because it was great stuff. And we talked about all the stuff with Seth Rollins and we had the main event with Sami Zayn and everything that happened there. That's the last thing we're gonna talk about because Jey Uso got attacked. Jey Uso ended up getting attacked in the backstage area, and Sammy thought it might have been Seth. And then during that main event that they had, Sammy came in with fire under his ass, thinking that it was Seth that attacked Jey. But so he brought out the chair, and then he was about to swing the chair at him, and he said, and Seth was like, "Yo, use your head. Why would I do that? I wouldn't do anything like that. Talk to your boy Punk. Talk to him. I'm not saying it was Punk, but when you talk to him, why would I do that? That's not something that I would do." And he basically was like, all right, so Sammy, who's always like the voice of reason, Sammy, one thing about Sami Zayn is if you come at him with some logic and reason, he's going to listen to you because that's how Sami Zayn operates. That's Sami Zayn's real life and his character at the same time, is that Sami Zayn's always trying to work through some things. He's that voice of reason in almost every situation. And that's who Sami Zayn is. And that's who we've, known him and have loved him as. So when he realized that it might not have been Seth Rollins, he throws the chair out. Seth Rollins, who's a tactician in the ring, caught him slipping, put him in that small package. 1, 2, 3, match is over, and it was what it was. And I'll get your thoughts on that. But what I gotta say is what happened at the end of the match was the heaviest thing, because of course we saw the return of Drew McIntyre, and I'm so excited to have him back because I was like, man, when's he coming back after Bad Blood? Because he was really cooking doing some of his best character work in his career, and I'm like, man, what's he? So I was great. I was loving having him back, but man, there's just so much stuff going on in that main event, and like with all the mid card, this really was one of the best Monday Night Raws of the year.
Yes, there were so many different moving parts, and like structure-wise, it feels like there's so many unsuspecting things that are happening at once, and it's just like, what's going to happen next? And there was a part of Sammy where I thought like he was a little irrational, but like you said, I thought that was a little out of character for Sammy because he really does resonate as that strong voice of reason. But when that lovely outlier Drew McIntyre returned, and it was so funny because just before that moment I was like, when is Drew McIntyre gonna come back? And
that's crazy.
But like also you don't know if it was, Drew McIntyre really hurt Jey Uso. Just because he came back at that point in time, like it might be something completely unrelated.
You might be right.
So, like,
I think about that.
Correlation doesn't prove causation. Just saying, like, human nature is funny in that way. Like, just because he just happens to arrive at that point in time, and just because he has a pattern of that occurring in the past, doesn't mean he is guilty. But he could be. So you don't know.
We don't know. You're right. We do not know.
But at the same time, like stuff, and like because, and one thing I want to point out about Sammy is like he has been having some like inconsistencies in his behavior, and I feel like this is one of those, a continuation of that pattern, because like you said, he listens to reason, and it changes his perspective.
Yep, that's true.
But that didn't happen this time. So what is next for Sami Zayn?
That's always the question. That is always going to be the question. What is next? And once again, the return of Drew McIntyre there. And I was happy to see him. Here it is right here.
What in the world? It's a Claymore. That is Drew McIntyre. We have not seen Drew McIntyre McIntyre since Hell in a Cell in early October, and he arrives and
That
just
pop.
claymores Sami Zayn.
That pop was crazy. It was crazy.
You know, it always makes me laugh when Drew McIntyre comes out, you know, wearing a hoodie and the hood is up, because like that jawline is undeniable, and like
it's so easily him.
You always know if you like can we do something a little more to keep him just a little more covert? I feel like Drew McIntyre is better than that. Like
then he hits him with the claymore. It's a dead giveaway.
I know. Like I know wrestling is cheesy and obvious, but like, come on.
Yeah, I was like, he could have hit him with something else to make it less obvious if he was trying to hide who you were.
Right. Unless
as soon
he
as I saw the
wasn't, and then
claymore,
I'm just getting worse. I don't know. Right. Exactly. I don't know, but
oh man,
maybe I'm just being picky. So,
like
was
TV,
there
I
goes
noticed it too.
McIntyre again. It was.
Right. I noticed it too. But listen, this was just another great episode here of the Raw Deal with Howse and O'Neal. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about Survivor Series, which was great. That Monday Night Raw, which was awesome. And yeah, guys, make sure you listen to our house party live from Kokomo, Indiana, there at Outhouse Records. The audio version is out on all major podcasting platforms. We have a premiere set for the video version. It's all edited and ready to go. We'll throw that on all the social medias for you guys when that's time, because that's coming. I believe it's tomorrow. I believe it is. And man, that's going to be awesome. And we'll be sure to share that in the awesome time that we had. But until then, Annie, it's your time, because I know you do a lot of awesome stuff. I know you just dropped an episode of Bumping and Thumping, and you got to talk about that. What's everything that you got moving? Where can they catch Divinely Designed Danny O'Neal?
Well, the newest episode of Bumping and Thumping with Storm Gerson, the main topic. Yes, I finally got it right, because I don't know, but I can't explain that. But this was a really magical episode to film with Storm. She's gonna be across. She's something special. Like,
oh yeah,
definitely keep her on your radar, because I don't know. She's amazing, and she's the entire package. So I can't wait for everyone else to get hip to that, because they should. I got a couple more episodes that I'm churning out, and those will be out within the next couple weeks. So it's on the Roku channel under Mise TV, MISE-TV, and it's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook. I have another episode that I will be filming this week with Ben McCoy. He was the former heavyweight champion at Frontline Pro, and I will be filming with him this week, and that'll be dropping probably next week. And then this weekend, I am at Championship International Wrestling in Toledo, Ohio. Myron Reed versus David Light is the main event of that, and yeah, I'll be there, so come check it out. How about you, Khan? What's cooking in the kitchen with you?
As always, I'm going to be right here doing my thing in your house, making sure that everything goes the way that it goes and needs to move. I mean, next thing I've got moving as far as bookings going, it'll be January 4th when I return from my hiatus, and I'll be there at Emergence Day, and that's going to be right there in Columbus, Indiana. And this card is going to be great. It is their anniversary show, and they've been around for so long. I believe it might be their 10-year. It's either the 9 or 10-year for sure, but this is a promotion that's been around for a long time. And this is their anniversary show. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. And it always is anytime they do Emergence Day. They make it big, and they make it feel big. And that's exactly what we're going to see. So I'll be there in Columbus, Indiana for Emergence Day. And once again, right here doing this, making sure that we move in, doing what we need to do it in your house. And that's putting that work, because it's HOWSC, and that W does stand for work. So for Divinely Designed Annie O'Neill, for the voice Josh Joseph, for Hypocrisy Jones, for Grunmeister, for the Chaos Goblin Kevin Calloway, and of course for the world's most dangerous podcaster Paragon, I am Olagon, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.